Winnie, what are you doing to poor Marley?
The first thing you notice about Winnie and Marley is that they're almost never apart. Whether they're racing across the yard, splashing through water, or simply wandering around together, they always seem happiest when they're side by side. Watching them now, it's hard to imagine that Winnie's life started very differently. I first met Winnie when she was just 8 weeks old. My veterinarian, who also worked in animal rescue, introduced me to her. I had stopped by to drop off some foster puppies and had absolutely no intention of bringing another dog home.
Hey!
Then I saw Winnie. She was tiny, adorable, and a little unsteady on her feet. My vet explained that she had a broken back. I remember telling myself that I was only taking her home as a foster. But the truth is, the moment I looked at her, I already knew I couldn't leave without her. At first, Winnie could still walk. Then one day, without warning, she simply stopped. I brought her back to the vet, hoping for answers. Instead, I learned that she would need a wheelchair. She was only 4 months old.
Come on, it's time to go to bed. Yes, it is. What? Oh.
That period was incredibly difficult. Winnie wanted so badly to do everything the other puppies did. She wanted to run, chase, and play. Seeing her struggle was heartbreaking, but giving up on her was never an option.
Come on, Win. Come on, Win.
We committed to months of rehabilitation. There was physical therapy, water exercises, and plenty of days that felt discouraging. Sometimes it seemed like we were making progress only to find ourselves right back where we started.
Yes, you can. Yeah, you're right there if you can get her.
Then Marley arrived. She already had an adopter waiting for her and was only supposed to stay with us temporarily as a foster. Nobody expected her visit to change anything. But from the moment Marley met Winnie, the two were drawn to each other.
What are y'all doing? Are you not letting her go outside? What are y'all doing? You're off your mat.
Winnie's wheelchair didn't bother Marley in the slightest. She treated her exactly like any other puppy. She invited Winnie into games, showed her how to play tug-of-war, and encouraged her to join in every adventure. For the first time, Winnie started doing zoomies. Marley ran and Winnie followed. Marley played in the water and Winnie discovered that she absolutely loved it. Before long, she was splashing around with complete joy, sticking her head into the water and having the time of her life.
Hey, Ben, look at me. Winnie, are you kidding me? Oh my gosh. Winnie.
One day, I looked outside and saw something I'll never forget. Winnie had gotten herself stuck in a sand trap. Before I could react, Marley rushed over, pulled her free, and the two of them immediately took off running together. It was one of the sweetest things I had ever witnessed. Eventually, though, Marley left for her new home. That's when I realized how much the friendship meant to Winnie. She was still happy, but something felt different. She would look around as if she were searching for someone. It was obvious she missed Marley.
Where's Marley? Where's Marley? Oh, you better get her. You better get her. Where's Marley?
Around that time, I had been sharing videos of the two dogs on Instagram. Marley's adopter saw them and reached out to me. She told me she couldn't separate them. I can still remember how excited we were when we learned Marley would be coming back. Their reunion was unbelievable. Winnie bounced around in her wheelchair while Marley wagged her tail so hard it seemed her whole body was moving. They pressed against each other, wrapping their necks together as if they were hugging. There was no doubt they had missed one another. From that day on, they became inseparable.
Marley, you want to help? You two sillies. Uh-oh.
Even now, Marley still looks after Winnie in little ways. One of the sweetest things she does is gently nibble at Winnie's back because Winnie can't always scratch herself. Marley somehow figured that out and helps her without being asked. Over time, Winnie's confidence grew. She pushed herself harder, became more social, and started enjoying life in ways she never had before.
Marley, come here. Oh, get her. You get her. Go get her, Winnie. She's trying.
Today, she barely uses her wheelchair. Inside the house, she doesn't need it at all. Of course, all the therapy played a huge role in her progress, but I honestly believe Marley helped too. She gave Winnie companionship, confidence, and a reason to keep trying. Now, Winnie charges through life with the same enthusiasm she brings to everything else. Nothing seems to slow her down, and with Marley beside her, she's about as happy as a dog can be.
Oh no, where is it? Oh my goodness, oh my goodness.
When I watch them together, always playing, always finding each other, I still feel grateful that their paths cross. Some dogs become friends. Winnie and Marley seem to have become something even rarer than that.